Only eating Sri Lankan food for a full day. Guys, I'm back with round 2 because last time I made one of these videos, a lot of people claimed that what I tried was not authentic Sri Lankan food. So I traveled an hour and a half on 3 different modes of transport and walked through the rain to get to Colombo Kitchen, as I heard this was the place to go for real authentic Sri Lankan cuisine. We started the day with egg hoppers, as this is one of the most popular breakfast dishes in Sri Lanka. The best way I can describe them is bowl-shaped pancakes made from fermented rice and coconut milk. This came served with 3 types of sambal, one made with coconut, one with caramelized onion, and one was a spicy onion mix. I can't even express how much I love these. If you've never tried hoppers before, this is your sign. A little later on, the bartender whipped us up some Sri Lankan inspired cocktails. This first one was made with pineapple, ginger, coriander, and chili liqueur. Not for the faint-hearted, but I actually loved the spicy kick it had to it. The next cocktail we tried was a mango coconut ginger mint number. This one was much sweeter, both in taste and the very cute vessel it was served in. After this, we got a variety of short eats, which is the Sri Lankan version of snack time. First, I tried the vadai, which are these spiced donut-shaped fritters. These are actually so light and fluffy on the inside, and that creamy coconut sambal they came with was delightful. Next, I tried the cutlet, which is a spicy breaded croquette filled with a tuna and potato mix. It was a nice bite, but it could have had a little bit more flavor to it. Next, I tried the mutton roll, which is basically a fried savory crepe that is rolled up and stuffed with filling. The outside was perfectly crisp and the inside was spicy, juicy, and just so delicious. The final snack was a fish patty, which was kind of like a little empanada. The crust was buttery and flaky, and the tuna filling works surprisingly well in this. Next, we got the hot buttered squid, which is basically beer battered squid that's tossed in a spicy butter sauce. This dish absolutely blew my socks off. It was very, very spicy, so proceed with caution. Believe it or not, that was just the start of our meal, as before we knew it, we had 9 dishes of food on the table. This is how you would have a classic family-style meal in Sri Lanka. Starting off with the Negumbo king prawn curry. I could have drunk the creamy coconut curry sauce on this by the cupful, but I will say the prawns had a bit of a weird texture. I think they were slightly overcooked. We were lucky to be here on the weekend as we got to try the blackened fish curry. This was very sour and peppery, and honestly, it was unlike any curry I've tried before. Next was the lentil coconut curry, which had a similar flavor to that prawn curry. I often find lentil curry to be quite bland, but honestly, I could not stop eating this one. Next, I tried the gotu kola sambal, which is made of this herb that's meant to have very medicinal properties to it. The sambal was fresh and herby and made a nice accompaniment to the curries. My absolute favorite dish of the day was the aubergine moju. This was made with the most tender, melt-in-your-mouth aubergine that's cooked in a fragrant coconut milk curry. We also tried the jackfruit curry, and to be honest, I'm just not a big fan of the taste or the texture of jackfruit, so this one wasn't for me. And finally, we got the stir-fried beans, which were nice and crunchy and came with these massive cashews. At this point, I was so full, but there is always a second stomach for dessert. We tried the watalapan, which is this type of custard pudding that's made with coconut milk, jaggery, and various spices. The texture was so interesting. It was something between jelly and cake. I loved the complex flavor from the cardamom and nutmeg coming through, as well as slight smokiness from the jaggery. This was so much food to have for 2 people, so we definitely took leftovers home and had them for dinner. I stand by the fact that Sri Lankan is one of the most underrated Asian cuisines. If you want an authentic taste of Sri Lankan food, I couldn't recommend Colombo Kitchen highly enough. Which cuisine should I explore next?